friends, Renee Keys here with Carolina Creative. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here with some more crafting ideas for you today. Today won't require a lot of stamping. I am going to really focus on showcasing some of the gorgeous Designer Series paper, but there is a little bit of stamping, and I'm going to use the hybrid embossing folder. So I will stamp in order to ink it, and then run it through and do die cutting and embossing all at the same time. So first, let me show you this paper. This is from the Unbounded Beauty series, and the papers are just stunning. There's a bunch of different colors here. These feature all the new 2024 to 2026 in colors, and it just gives you an idea of these gorgeous papers. And then when you flip it over, you see that there's a lot of these watercolor backgrounds. They're a little bit more neutral, and they're equally stunning. So you can do a lot of things with these papers. So I have selected a piece of this paper to use as my focal point. So one of the really pretty florals, and this is Summer Splash. So the two colors I'm going to focus on today are Pop of Petunia, which is the bright pink, and then Summer Splash, which I've got in the cardstock here. So basically, I've cut my first piece of cardstock at 5 1/4 by 4. So that's just going to mat my other piece of designer paper. There you go. So what I am using is the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing folder. And that means that this comes with the dies as well as this embossing folder. And so I'm going to get right to it and start inking this up and show you how this works. This is going to create a whole bunch of sentiments. So I'm flipping the camera. A whole bunch of sentiments that I can then use with other cards. And I picked this Petunia Pop because I think I'll be able to use a lot of these sentiments with that pretty paper I just showed you. So all I'm going to do is run my ink pad. It looks messy. Run it across this folder, and this is all going to wash right off, so I'm not too worried. But I do want to make sure I get the corners down here. So yeah, it looks like I've got everything. Once I've got that done, I'm going to drop this die cutting piece right on top. Now what I didn't grab was my piece of cardstock. Fortunately, I keep a stash of these cut at about 5 1/4 by 4 as inserts. So I am just going to, and I've already got a little ink on my fingers, and I'm just going to drop this on here and cut several of these out. A bigger piece would have worked better, but this is just going to give me enough to do what I need to do. I could find, and I know I've got some scraps here, I could even add, yeah, I could. I'll just go ahead and see if I can run this through as well. That might be too big, but we'll see what happens. You can see how I'm just playing. So now I'm going to close this up. And let me move my Stampin' Emboss machine right into the viewing area here. And I don't need, this is a very thick piece. So if I'm remembering correctly, I am just going to need one plate. And I don't need the other, the number 2. I just need the 1 and 3. Nope. Okay, when it goes through too easily, you know you don't have the right sandwich. So I do need 2, and I only need 1 plate for 3. I don't need both. And if I can get this to straighten out, it will then run through. Yes, like that. Oh, okay. So then when that happens, I know I need the gray one. And you can see we have varieties. This often works with these thicker folders, and now I was right. I don't need that. See, and if it doesn't work the first time, you figure it out. I need plate 4 to run this one through. These thicker hybrid folders require the number 4 plate. And so it still takes a little bit of effort to crank it through. There we go. But when you do that, what you'll see in just a moment is I will have everything in one. But while I'm standing here with the machine, there's one more piece I wanted to die cut. And that is just a piece that will hold, that I'm going to put the sentiment on. It's just a little extra. And I'm using one of these scalloped contours like this. on a scrap. So I will now make my normal sandwich. I've got the layer 2 and then two of the plates that are number 3 plates. And this should go through just like normal. There we go. And so now I've got just a cute little piece like that. And that's in petal pink. So again, it's going to coordinate with all the rest. Let me get this out of the viewing area. And you'll be able to see all these lovely, and it looks messy, but like I said, you just run it under the faucet and you're done. So that did get a little messy where I was trying to add, but that's okay. And as these pop out, I've got With Sympathy, I've got Just Because. I can actually go back and add more ink with a pen if I choose to. I'm trying to make sure I don't get too much ink on my fingers. And so that was a little messy. But these can make some really cute, oh, Happy Day punched too. And I may just color that in. So the rest of this is ready to be washed. Let me get that out of the way. So I have a variety of sentiments here. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you how I'm going to lay this out. I already talked about layering these together. So I've got a mat. What I had wanted to do is the Celebrate. And I may add some more ink to that before this is all said and done. And I'm going to put it on. I have to decide, do I really like that? Or do I want to make this like a Get Well card? Because it could be cute as a Get Well card as well. And that might help. It could be a sympathy card. If I wanted to put With Sympathy on there. I think this is really cheerful. So let me just start assembling and I'll think about how I want to use this in a moment. I do have a couple of different blender pens that I could use to fill in the letters here. This is embossed, so all these letters actually have a really nice texture to them. I don't know if it'll show off on the camera, but all the letters are raised, so it's very easy to go back if you choose to do it and color this in. I'm going to take a bright color, and actually maybe I don't want a bright color. Maybe I want to go with the pale pink, just as a highlight here. And oh yeah, that makes it pop. So now it's got the outline, and then the Petunia Pop really does pop. I think I'm liking this as a sympathy card. So this is just kind of on the fly making a decision. So all I'm doing is putting a touch of ink on the raised surface of these letters. I like that. I think that's good. So now I'm going to start assembling. Like I said, my focal point and what I'm showcasing is the Pretty Designer Series paper. So I'm going to start with my Stampin' Seal and kind of put it on the corners and a little dab on the middle and center this up so that it's framed on all 4 sides. Press it down and do the same thing and just apply this right to the card. And what I'm thinking is I want all this flat, it's not rolling. I want all this flat because I'll make the sentiment pop off when I'm ready to put that on. And I've already looked at this. I mean, I could turn this a bunch of different directions. This card could go a variety of directions. I kind of like it vertical. I like these 2 flowers as a big focal point, so I don't want to cover those. So now I'm going to put my sentiment down there. I've got a pretty background for it. I do have a cute little ribbon that I've tied. This is actually the Pool Party. Pool Party goes really well with the Summer Splash. They're analogous colors. They're that blue-green. So what I'm going to do first is take my liquid glue and adhere this sentiment to the background. And then I will reach for my dimensionals, which I had out just a minute ago because I knew I was going to use them. There they are. And I'm going to pop that off that card base. So let's pull out a few dimensionals. 4 or 5 might do it for this. I'll just put the 4 corners. This scallop, unfortunately, has retired. It was a favorite of mine because you can do so much with it. It was different sizes. A lot of them were rectangular, but the scallop just gave it a really cute little edge. All right, put that out of the way. So now I'm just going to put this on that lower right-hand corner and grab a glue dot or two. I often use two, just to make sure it's going to stay on good. And one on either side, or one behind the knot and one on one of the bows. And I'm going to put it over here. And then I think the last thing it needs is just a little wink of Stella. So I'm going to give this a shake and make these flowers shimmer, the big ones especially. Give them that pretty little sparkle. And now I think this is a really pretty sympathy card. So there you have it. Didn't take long. The focal point really is the Pretty Designer Series paper. I just embossed and punched out and die cut the sentiment and put it all together, and there's a very simple card format. So thanks for joining me. If you like the products or the projects that you see here, feel free to contact me. You can find me at or hashtag Carolina Creative, and you can also find me at Renee Keese at StampinUp.net. So thanks for joining.